the Lone Ranger.
Silver!
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver. The Lone Ranger.
This is a story of one of the most mysterious characters to appear in the early days of the West. He was a fabulous individual, a man whose presence brought fear to the lawless and hope to those who wanted to make this frontier land their home. He was known as the Lone Ranger.
Here's a little story for you. Clayton Moore, the man who played the Lone Ranger, made public appearances following the end of the Lone Ranger series in 1957. In 1979, the owner of the Lone Ranger character sued Moore, and he could no longer wear the traditional sky blue outfit with the mask. So he wore wraparound sunglasses. His followers knew he was the real Lone Ranger, but sunglasses, not quite the right mask. Psychologists and the smart guys say we all wear masks in our daily lives to fool people into thinking that we are something that we are not. I don't know if I believe all the psychologists and the smart guys. What I do know is this: every Christian wears a mask. Martin Luther put it like this: vocations are the masks of God. On the surface, we see an ordinary human face. The businessman, the doctor, the teacher, the UPS driver, the pastor. But beneath the appearances, God is ministering to us through them. God is hidden in human vocations. Now the other side of the coin is that God is hidden in us when we live out our callings or vocations as spouses, parents, children, employers, employees, citizens, and the rest. God is working through us even when we don't realize it. When we fulfill our vocations, we too are masks of God. Brings a new understanding to that verse, doesn't it? We talked about it earlier. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works which God prepared in advance for us to do.
Hey, where in tarnation did that masked man go?
He's gone, Dad. He never stays around once his work is done. He's the best friend we've ever had. He's the Lone Ranger.
Hi-Yo Silver! Away!
In that Hi-Ho Silver was passion. No doubt about it, that Lone Ranger loved what he was doing. Do you have a passion for something? Football, fishing, racing, sleeping in your recliner? I think all guys do. But listen to this. The word passion comes from the Latin word patiar. Ugh, there's that English teacher thing again. And it meant to suffer or endure. But the expanded meaning goes on to state that it is an emotion applied to a very strong feeling about a person or thing. You want to see passion in its true form of suffering? You ought to be here in Lubbock when the Red Raiders of Texas Tech lose. Now that's real passion. But seriously, often to wear the mask of God and serve our family, neighbor, our country, and the world is a matter of steadfastness, endurance, and perhaps suffering. Putting the needs of others first can be both passionate and painful. That's what this vocation is all about. Let me let you in on a little secret. This is not an option like heated seats on a new car. This is the natural result of being a Christian man. That's the way it's supposed to work. Our vocation is to love and serve those around us. I've been blessed in Christ to be a blessing for others. I am doing what Christ would call me to do in that situation and at that moment. If the situation calls for forgiveness, I forgive. If it calls for discipline, I discipline. If it calls for praise, I praise. If it calls for feeding the hungry man that stands before me, then I feed. God sustains and cares for His creation through me and men like me and men like you. Does this mean Christian men are perfect? No, but we are forgiven. Now, according to Luther, the purpose of vocation is to love and serve our neighbors, and that includes our own children. Have you ever changed a diaper? It's God caring for your son or your daughter through you. Ever grill out hot dogs for your kids? It's God caring for your children through you. Ever have to change a parent's diaper because they've had a stroke or have Alzheimer's? It's God caring for your mom and your dad through you. But I have something better for you. Want to see Jesus? On Judgment Day, Jesus will say, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was naked and you clothed me. And the just will say, when did we see you hungry, thirsty, or naked? And Jesus will answer, what you have done for the least of these, my brethren, you have done unto me. Want to see Jesus? He's all around you. He's in the face of a crying child, a grieving mother, a hungry man. Look into the face of the jerk you might call your boss. He's right in front of you. Through living out your vocation, you are serving Christ Himself. Wow. I asked you a minute ago if you had a passion, apart from sports. Is there a passion in your heart to serve, to give, to have mercy, to step up and volunteer when others sit on their hands? There's your vocation. Do you have talents and gifts that are special? There's your vocation. Are you a faithful and loving husband? There's your vocation. Do you love to sing really loud and can't carry a tune? That's probably not your vocation. The real challenge in life is to find an occupation that is served by your vocation. Many job coaches work with guys to first find their passion and then look for their position. Remember in the first session, I was talking about guys who hate their job? I'll bet they aren't doing what they love to do. In fact, right now, I'm sure there are plenty of Christian men who are unemployed. And if you're one of them, you might be asking, so how am I supposed to be using my vocation? Well, I heard a man who helps Christian men make their dreams come true. He said it like this: the quickest way to find a job when you're unemployed is to volunteer at a nursing home, feeding those who can't feed themselves. It will change your life. As we end this session, I want to make one thing very clear. An author by the name of Gustav Weingren, in his classic book Luther on Vocation, summarized Luther like this: God does not need our good works, but our neighbor does. These works which God has planned in advance for us to do does not result in our salvation, but are the result of our salvation.
Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. The Lone Ranger rides again.